everyone, this is the Vegan Man Food Channel, and this is Cooking with Manny. If it's your first time with us, of course, I am Manny and you're going to be cooking with me, so welcome. In our recipe today, we're going to be cooking a vegan black bean tostada. And this is a really good recipe, especially for families that are looking to save costs and eat healthy. There's no better thing to do both. So some of the highlights from our recipe today, as you can see, we're going to be using a lot of fresh ingredients, a lot of homemade food, but of course there are some options. So you don't have to have just a plain tostada, but you could really add to it and make it your own. So let's go ahead and take a look at our ingredients. So first we're going to start with, of course, tortillas. So tortillas are going to be the bottom, the base of our tostadas. What we're going to do is we're going to fry them up. Now for this meal, we're going to fry up all of these. So an entire pack of corn tortillas, that's about $1.49 right there. So that is a pretty good value. Now next we have the beans. Now this is a bit optional. I prefer to have black beans, but of course I prefer to have refried beans as part of my tostada. You know, it's probably from all the years of eating Taco Bell. I love refried beans on my tostada. But of course, we're going to have black beans. So it's optional. You don't have to have refried beans. You could really just go with the black bean option and save money. And same as with the soyrizo here. These are our proteins. You know, a lot of people ask, you know, how do vegans eat protein? Well, this is protein. Beans are protein. The soyrizo, tofu is protein. Tofu actually has more protein than beef, believe it or not. So here's our protein. Now all of this is optional. You don't, if you're tight on money, you don't need soyrizo. But if you notice here, I'm really only using half of the tube that I got from Trader Joe's. So here's your protein right here. Prices here, black beans, 1 can of black beans, 99 cents. 1 can of refried beans, 99 cents for Trader Joe's. I got half of a soyrizo here, which at Trader Joe's can either be $2.99 or $3.99. So just half of it, I priced it at $1.99. Vegan cheese. Now this again is optional. You don't have to have vegan cheese on this meal. But if you wanted to have that nice cheesy flavor, you can add some. Now, again, we're not using the whole bag, so just the amount of vegan cheese we're using, probably about 59 cents worth. Now, as we top our tostadas, we're going to top it with fresh veggies. So I have a tomato here, a red onion, cilantro, some lime, all right, some lettuce. So all of these things come together. So tomato, about $1.29 for a tomato. We're not going to use this whole bag of lettuce. So I estimate about $1.19 worth of lettuce on this meal. We're not going to use even the whole onion. We might only use half of the onion. So I estimate about 29 cents for that. Now, lastly, we want to top it with some salsa and some salt. So our spices and salsa, again, we're not using the whole can of salsa, and this is optional. You don't have to use salsa. So salsa here, I priced it about 49 cents worth of salsa, and extra spices, 29 cents. Because you're going to see I'm going to use tahini as well, in addition to salt. So these are our ingredients, but of course you can add whatever you want and make the tostada yours. But this will be our base ingredients for our recipe here today. Let's go ahead and get started cooking. The first step in making the tostada shell is you'll want to use oil to put in your pan. Now I put the pan at medium heat, and you'll see I'm using coconut oil. I like the coconut oil because it adds a nice flavor to the tostada shell. So then you add the tortilla to allow it to start to fry in the oil. Once you see it starting to crisp up, you'll want to go ahead and flip it so that way you can get it crispy on both sides. Now there's no rules to this. If you start to see that maybe it wasn't as crispy on the first side, then you can just flip it again to make sure that it's crispy on both sides. Now once it's crispy enough, you'll want to take it out of the oil, and I like to put it on a plate with a paper towel so that way it soaks up some of that extra oil and doesn't make your tostada too oily. And then once you've taken the first one out, go ahead and throw your next one in and start over. The next thing we'll want to do is prepare the beans for our tostada. And in this case, you'll see I'm using refried beans. Maybe it's because of all the years of having Taco Bell. I'm just used to always having refried beans on my tostada. These refried beans I got from Trader Joe's, but as you can see, I add a little bit of water to loosen them up. I might have added a little too much water in this case, but that's okay. Just gauge it and do the best you can. Here I'm adding some black beans, so that way we have the refried bean mixture along with black beans. In our next step, we're going to be preparing the soyrizo. The soyrizo comes in a tube, much like regular chorizo comes in. So you'll want to squeeze the soyrizo out of the tube and into a frying pan. The frying pan is just on medium heat, and you'll want to loosen it up a little bit, break it up. Sometimes I'll even add a little bit of olive oil to give the soyrizo just a little bit more depth and some fattiness to it. Just keep cooking it until it browns. All right, everyone, now we've got everything ready. So now it's time to plate. And when it's time to plate, it's time for a plating break. The first thing that you'll want to do is you'll want to add your bean mixture to the tostada. I like to add it and then spread it around nice and thin and flat. That way you make plenty of room for your other toppings. Next, we're going to add the soyrizo, and we just add that to both right on top of the bean mixture. Next, we're going to add some lettuce and spread that out nice and thin. And now we're going to chop up some tomato and then add the tomato to our tostada. Next, we're going to chop up some red onion and then go ahead and spread that out nice and even on top of each tostada. And now we're going to top it with cilantro. Cilantro really gives the tostada a nice fresh flavor. On top of the cilantro, we're going to add some vegan cheese. And then on top of the vegan cheese, I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of tahini to give it some flavor. And there you have it. There is our vegan black bean tostada. We really hope you like this recipe. As you can see, many of the different ways to finish it off. You can make it your own, add your own salsa, add tahini, add lime, add whatever you want. Add pineapple or mango, whatever. Actually, that sounds pretty good. I'll have to try that. But as you can see, vegan food does taste good. Any guy will like it. Any guy will like this recipe. And you can see it's affordable. Here we've made a complete vegan dinner for under $10. So, once again, we really appreciate you watching our channel and watching our recipe. My name is Manny. This is the Vegan Man Food Channel. Join us again next time for another vegan recipe.